Good morning all. Cannot tell you how much better I feel now after a night's sleep. It was getting to about 11 o'clock yesterday and I was starting to think that's a very, very long ride home just in the pitch black. So now I feel completely re-energized, and the thought of now doing a 3-hour ride back home, that is now glorious. Joe's doing a few final little touches on the Bonneville, even touching up a few little bits of paintwork on the tank, which is very kind of him. And I've got one thing in Joe's garage that I really want to marry up to my bike, because there is one part of the bike that's really niggling me that I want to change. So when we've pushed the Bonneville out, I'll put this thing up, I'll marry it up to the front of the bike to show you the final piece of the puzzle for my Bonneville. In about 10 minutes time, we're going to head off. I was going to say there's big news from Emily, but she's already shared it, I think, in a previous video. She passed her bike test. So we're going to, all three of us, head off somewhere to a nice little cafe, grab breakfast, grab a coffee, 3 bikes with Emily. So what a perfect way to start the weekend. I think the weather will hold out, just about. I'm sure the forecast is good for today, so these early morning clouds will dissipate soon, I'm sure. Get packed up, get my panniers from upstairs, and we're going to hit the road soon. But before we do that, I'll show you this thing.
Branded jam.
Did it?
Can you have a taste of jam?
Soon too. I'll just unpeel this sticker, stick on a LIBERTATIA one.
It's gonna work. Oh, yeah, it's working.
Just before we go, oh, Emily's inside. She's made us some jam and put the Wurks stickers on. So kind. But just before we go, this is the aluminium mudguard that I tried to take off Joe, but he wouldn't allow it. Just to give you an idea, hope you can see that okay, the difference it makes having, you know, a mudguard of your choice. Everyone's different, the kind of mudguards that they want, but for me, I really want a bare metal mudguard that's a bit longer, more of a retro look. So Joe's pointed me in the direction of a company that can tailor-make a retro-looking bare metal mudguard. And after seeing this and marrying it up to my bike, I'm definitely doing it. Just transforms the look of it, and also from a functionality point of view as well, it will stop any debris getting on the bike. But I just love that 1950s, 60s, 70s old school look that I'm certain this will give.
When it's cold, you don't like to ride up. If you come to the junction, you pull the body in.
I feel honoured.
Yeah?
I'm the 4th person to have ridden this bike in how long?
So I built this bike in 2015, 16. So, yeah.
9 years, 4 people.
Yeah.
I I had zero expectation of you being able to start it
Yeah.
right there. You have to change gear with the right foot and you brake with the left foot.
Yep.
And you have to keep a bit of accelerator on at the start, otherwise it's going to conk out. I went up for a ride that way and then a ride that way, and I was rigid like that. It should be a joyous experience riding something that can't be any more than, 130 kilos. This is an ultra lightweight, 450cc. It's the fear factor. You feel like a brand new rider.
54 years old.
And a fascinating link of history, the CCM, the BSA. You've got the BSA 3 rifles on the side. CCM tank, it all looks so weird, doesn't it? But it's that weird time in British biking history where everything was so turbulent and everyone was going bankrupt and everyone was buying everyone out. And this is a symbol of that period
Yeah,
in
it's the
time.
last throw of the dice. So the basis for this, the oil-in frame, was built out of the 1966, 7 and 8
Put the oil in
championship.
there, by the way, into the frame. Yeah.
So they won on the B44 in the 60s, like 3 years on the bounce for the national championship for scrambling. And then this was...
The CCM did?
Oh, no, BSA.
Oh, BSA did?
Yeah, so they won the championship. And then this was the development bike, effectively, that they then put into production with a steel frame as a way of like using some R&D to try and build something else that they could get out. But if you look around most of the way through the 70s, virtually all BSA Triumph have the same forks, the same brakes, same rear wheel.
They were just using each other's
yeah,
stuff
Yeah.
to
All
desperately
bolted
try and
the same frame,
survive for the lowest amount of price. Like, let's see if we can pinch that off that and that off that.
Yeah.
How rare are these now?
They're actually getting less. In the UK, they're getting less rare because so many are coming back from the States. They were a big export bike.
The Americans loved this type of stuff, didn't they?
But actual home market ones are quite hard to come by. And the price now is astronomical. Like the bike I built for my dad, the 350, the little one, I paid £250 for that as a basket case to build.
And how much, if someone was looking for one of these, if they wanted to try and find one, how much would they have to spend probably on one of these?
So a generic mongrel kind of cobbled together in reasonable condition, you're talking £3,500. Something like this now with the PS CCM spec engine, you can be upwards of 6, 7, pushing for 8. And CCMs now, genuine, like factory built CCMs, are 12, 18, like big money.
You realise it's got all of the ingredients now that modern bikes want. It's lightweight, it feels agile, it's got that ridiculous amount of character in the engine.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing for me, I cannot get my head around. How do people you can't go to work on bikes like this, can you? Because you have no idea if it's going to start.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's mad. I don't get it. Watching you even take 4 or 5 kicks.
They can't have been like that back then.
Yeah, that's
but
what
I don't. Yeah. And to be fair, like I said to you, so this is full race spec. It's light and flywheel.
Okay.
It's high compression, big valves. So it does make it a bit more.
Yeah, so you're not going to have someone suited and booted needing to get to an urgent meeting and then desperately trying to kick it.
I mean, what is absolutely crazy is my dad, in 1977 to 78, built his original one of these with a 550 engine in it.
Yeah.
And that was his daily transport. He was riding something even more intense than this to work and back. And
as a genuine mode of transport, not a weekend toy.
It was his only mode of transport.
I've just asked Joe, what's this registered as? Is it registered as a CCM? Because it's got CCM everywhere and CCM there. Or is it registered as a BSA? Because, of course, it's got the BSA sticker here. And, Joe, what is it registered on the logbook?
It's a Triumph.
This doesn't make any sense. So why is this a Triumph?
Because, so, like I was saying to you, they were all using the same parts. When BSA and Triumph were one business, their last throw of the dice, they were both struggling, so they wanted a small commuter bike. So Triumph did what they called the T25, as the SS and the Trailblazer, and they did a TR5MX, which is this frame with a 500 engine in, and BSA were doing the BSA B50MX, which was the equivalent of that, and the B25 SS, and they did a couple of the different models, like a Tourer model with a big tank, but the same bike, just one had a Triumph badge, one had a BSA badge.
So this one, it's the Triumph frame in essence. BSA, different bits and pieces. and CCM to finish it off. This is just the biggest mongrel of a bike you can possibly get, isn't it? Because nothing about this says Triumph, unless you actually know what you're talking about. And there's this tiny little bit on the bottom of the frame.
This is T25.
This is big news. You passed the test.
I passed my test, yes. This
Massive.
is my second ride out.
How was it?
It was good. I didn't like some of the corners. I was a bit nervous on them, so I slowed right down. And I could then, in my mirror, I could see you and then about 20 cars behind you. And I was like,
You did very well. How do you find the bike, and how does it feel being able to just pick up a bike and head off whenever you fancy?
I haven't exercised that yet, but I quite like this bike. I am struggling to get used to what gear I'm in, because the bike I learned on told me, whereas there's nothing on here that tells you. So I'm trying to learn how it sounds and how it feels for what gear I want for what speed, and the corners are interesting. And then I found it hard just because you had picked the speed limit. So the speed limit said 30, and you were not doing 30.
And we were all desperately trying to keep up with Joe, who's
And I
being
felt really slow.
very responsive.
You're doing 30, you're following the kilometres.
No, I'm following the outside numbers. Because 30 isn't written on the inside.
Emily, though, it feels great, and it takes some getting used to actually following you on a bike now. It's so nice, isn't it? That you've got your own bike. It's amazing. So massive congrats.
But it is weird because I've only ever been out with people, obviously learning, and then I went out Sunday just with Joe, and then today. So I feel like nothing can happen to me because I'm in like a safety bubble because I'm in the middle. So it's like I've got an odd sense of security about me.
Yeah, so you need to wait until you head off like solo to Scotland or something like that, and then it all disappears.
Everybody wants that video.
I'm glad I filmed that. Fully fueled up, food-wise, I have a little treat. Joe did wonder if this treat was for Monica, but unfortunately this apple pie is for me for halfway along the trip. I think it's 3 hours to get back. 1.5 hours later, I'll stop and have this. Now, Joe's got a great idea. We're in the area of Meriden,
We are.
which is where Triumph not was founded, but where a lot of the really big models, the big decisions were made in Triumph's history. So we're within a stone's throw of where the actual factory was. So right now we're going to ride over and see the exact location this once world famous point in Triumph's history was. Joe, what do we think time-wise? How long to get there from here? 2 minutes. 2 minutes? To get to the birthplace of the Bonneville? It's a big deal, isn't it? Joe, just explain to me, where are we?
So this is the entrance, or would have been the entrance, to the Meriden factory.
The start of this,
Yeah.
this road right here.
Yeah.
And just show that gate there.
So that is there. I'll send you this photo.
That's incredible. So that would have been the gates that got knocked down in 1983.
Somewhere around there.
Do you know the funny thing is, this is deja vu for me. I don't know if you remember seeing it. I did a video of BSA's history.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, I came here to Bonneville and Daytona Drive as part of my video for BSA's history. And I'm just trying to understand why I came here for a BSA-related history lesson. There must be a reason, but I remember there's a plaque over there saying this is where the Meriden factory is. So I remember parking next to that Daytona sign there. This is so weird. Bonneville close here, Daytona Drive, Triumph Daytona. Why did I come here for BSA? I cannot remember. I haven't parked up for no reason. Welcome to Daytona Drive in the town of Meriden, 20 minutes away from the Small Heath plant. This is Daytona Drive, and this road here that we've just come on is Bonneville Way. And this isn't a funny coincidence. This is because this here, where we're standing, was the site of Triumph's Meriden factory. And this is the beginning of the end for BSA, because by 1970, despite all of the success in the past 2 to 3 decades, BSA were in an atrocious position with a result of all of the aggressive expansion and a number of hugely damaging mismanagement policies within the company. By 1971, they had posted a £3 million loss. So, to try and curb that loss, they had to restructure the company. BSA Small Heath plant stopped producing motorcycles and they just focused on components, and they moved all of the production to here, this exact site in Meriden. Continuing to 1971, around about midway through the year, they did one final last chance, desperate effort to save the business, and they released 13 new motorcycles from Triumph and BSA. That didn't work, and by the end of 1971, they were really on the verge of bankruptcy. They managed to splutter on for another 2 years until the inevitable happened. Right here, and also at the Small Heath plant, 1973, BSA, after 63 years in continuous production, they went bust. And there's a little memorial, but before I get to the memorial here, that is all that's left. Little side note, 1973, BSA was bust. Norton Villiers tried taking over Triumph, but the Triumph employees right here blockaded the entrance, and they had a round-the-clock blockade, so when people were back at home sleeping, other employees would come here to make sure there's a 24/7 manned blockade. In protest for Norton Villiers taking over the company, they ended up, all of their hard work, winning, and they formed their own company, Triumph Motorcycles Meriden. That carried on for a further 10 years, all the way up until 1983, and finally, that failed as well. So right here, this plaque signals the end. In fact, Monica, if you come round here, This is not just the end, yes, of Triumph motorcycles, but also really it signals the end of BSA as well. This is the site of the Triumph Motorcycle Factory Meriden. 41 years. And that is all that's left. The following year, when Triumph finally went out of business, it was all knocked down, 1984, and all that's left here, again, if this once great location for motorcycle production, is a housing estate. And that signifies, or that signals, the end of BSA, the end of Triumph, but really, the end of BSA's journey was 10 years before this. But either reason, right here where we're standing now, this is where they built the original Bonnevilles.
Yep.
And importantly, this site here is the site where Triumph solidified itself to become a name within the USA as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all of the bikes coming out here are the very bikes that would have been world famous because of everything from the Steve McQueen connection and everything else. And they were built right here.
Every one of Steve McQueen's bikes came out this gate.
That's just incredible. Isn't that incredible to think about it?
Yeah.
The history from right here. Now it's a housing estate, but all of the things that would have been dreamt up right here, where our feet are. I remember coming here last time on a BSA Gold Star, and it was a really special experience coming on Gold Star, but it's really nice coming on my Bonneville. And it's funny to think, just right behind these hedges here, in an area that's now a housing estate, probably 50% of people here, you know, they don't know. It doesn't bother them. The area that they live on now, the ground that was the starting point to so many incredible bike models that became famous the world over, that at the peak in the 1950s, 1960s, set the standard for motorcycling in terms of dynamism and style, and in the movies and everything around that. And now all that's left is this little plaque. I just had a great story from Joe. Where we are right now, in fact, the main road just behind me there, this is where the Triumph test riders would come out of the Meriden factory, get the bikes warmed up, and then whiz up, because this was a national speed limit, so 60 miles an hour, get up as fast as they could along this road, fly all the way down there, come back up at the roundabout, and then once they got up to full speed, they'd pull up in this old road that's now been shut off, pull up here, have a cigarette, check that the fork seals and everything is okay, nothing's leaking, before bombing back to the Meriden factory. So it's right here that all of those famous models would have been test ridden. And on top of that, if you can imagine the scene, the Triumph test riders, 1940s, 50s, 60s, cigarettes in mouth, checking that nothing's leaking, having a chat, and then a Jaguar E-Type pulls up, because the Jaguars would also come here with their test drivers to test exactly the same thing. So there could be a situation where right here behind me, imagine it, 1960s, Bonneville's pulling up during development and testing, as well as E-Type Jags. What a time to be in automotive. Again, this would be one of the Meriden ones, wouldn't it? Exactly where we've just been. Emily. That's a bit of a shame. We're in the National Motorcycle Museum, and we really, Emily and I, we wanted to film a bit, but they flat out would not let us film anything in there, so apologies, can't get any footage. Emily and Joe, thank you so much for having me. I'm about to head off. They've got a nice relaxing ride back. I have 3 hours to get home, so I need to hit the road. But that's been a lovely couple of days. I now get to test out the shocks on the Bonneville to make sure Joe's work has been up to par, and I'll feed back all to him later. So I'll catch you all up probably halfway along my journey while I'm eating my apple cake. That was such a nice couple of days, and now to have a 3-hour ride back. With the weather this nice, I feel like I could ride all day. I'm about an hour and a half away from home. I was thinking I'd be over the moon to eat this apple crumble now, but we all had a really sugary cookie in the Motorcycle Museum. I'm gonna spoil this. If I have this now, don't know if you can make that out. I'll put an overlay on if you can't. If I eat that now, I won't appreciate it to its fullest. So I'll be a gentleman. I will offer, at least offer, Monica half, and I'll have that when I get back this afternoon, if I can close it. I think that should be okay. Okay, I'll try and do that later. Brilliant 2 days. Have I said that already? Really loved it. Feels great to have the Bonneville back to 100% working order. And just to catch up with Joe and Emily, and so nice to see Emily pass her test. And she's got her very own little MASH motorbike, which is just like a mini Bonneville. All in all, good vibes all around, and I'll wrap it up there. I'll do the last bit of journey back on the motorway. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Have a brilliant week all. I'll see you all in the next one.